Hello, everyone, and we are back, and it's time to talk about the NFC in 2011. Um, Obviously, this is a conference that I have a certain focus on because it is the conference that includes my Chicago Bears, um, not to mention the Arizona Cardinals, which I sometimes support because I live in Arizona. Um, so it's also going to be an interesting division conference, I think, this year. When we're going to see how I think it'll play out. Although, once again, disclaimer from last video still stands. These are my opinions. These are my predictions. They are going to be wrong. They're made pretty much strictly, with gut instinct and a little research. So there's that. And once again, we're focusing primarily, not primarily, but one of the key aspects going into this has been the fact that um, I'm I predict that at least half of the playoff teams this year will not have made the playoffs last year. So let's get into it. The NFC East will be won by the Philadelphia Eagles. I, you know, I can't, I can't vote against the Eagles right now. I mean, it's easy to see how they might disappoint everyone because they were the most active team during the truncated off season and free agency, and they have put together what on paper appears to be something really really amazing. And we'll see how it plays out in real life. Vic had a monster year last year. Um, Deshaun Jackson has reported he's ended his holdout, so that's good for them. Jeremy Maclin is okay, thankfully. Very happy for him. Very happy that he doesn't have cancer. Um, that's really, really excellent news, and I'm happy that he's okay. He's one of the best younger receivers in the league right now, and he's going to be a real factor in their aspirations. And they have signed Steve Smith from the New York Giants, which it's kind of unclear how uh, how well Smith is gonna be if his knee is gonna let him play for the Eagles and the Giants apparently had differing opinions among their respective medical staffs regarding Steve Smith's knee and how long it will keep him out, which is why the Eagles wanted him because they thought he would be ready to play sooner than the Giants did. Um, so they got him. We'll see if he's a factor or not. They've got LaShawn McCoy, who's a tremendous weapon, and nothing really to complain about there. And their defense looks astounding. I mean, the signing of Asamoah um, and the trade for Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, in addition to Asante Samuel, who has not been traded yet. Although they might want to think about doing that because they could probably get something good for him. But even if they don't, I mean, that's it's a hell of a cornerback roster right there. I think their defense is going to be amazing, and their offense should be pretty amazing. So frankly, I see the Eagles running away with maybe not running away, but definitely taking the NFC East and making the playoffs for a fourth straight year. Um, I also think one of the NFC wildcard teams will come from this division, that being the New York Giants. Um, I honestly see the Giants making it this year. They were real close to making it last year. Um, Eli Manning, I think, will have been working on his performance and his playing. Uh, they've got Hakeem Nicks, they've got Manningham, they've got Ahmad Bradshaw, and they've got a hell of a defense. Apparently, they've finally offered Umanora a new deal. So I see them making it. The Cowboys are supposed to be better this year, but then I mean they were last year. People were talking about them as a Super Bowl team, and they missed the playoffs. I don't see them making it this year, and I don't see them being enough of a threat to the Eagles and Giants to keep the wild card out of that division. But you never know. I just from where I'm standing, the Cowboys need a lot more work than people seem to think. I still don't really trust Tony Romo. He's hasn't. Every year we hear about how great Tony Romo is, and every year he doesn't live up to his own hype. So that's just my opinion. And then, of course, there are the what's the other team in that division? The Red Washington. I don't even know. Some crappy team from DC. Um, the Redskins will finish last in that division. They might finish last in the NFC. I don't think they're going to be as bad as the Bengals, but they might come close. Um, Chicago fans will tell you what it costs you emotionally to trust your team in the hands of Rex Grossman. Don't, in other words, and not John Beck. Who knows? I mean, letting McNabb go was probably a good move after the travesty that was last season. But honestly, I think that was less McNabb's fault, more Shanahan's fault. So they don't really have a quarterback worth speaking of. They don't really have a running game worth speaking of. They added Tim Hightower, and that's that's where it is there. I don't think Hightower can carry the running game. I don't think Terrain can stay on the field, although he's great when he does. I don't think he will because he hasn't lately. He's already talking about injuries. And there's Roy Helu, who, I don't know much about, but apparently he's drawing eyes. It's the usual crowded Shanahan backfield. And I honestly don't think the Redskins are going anywhere this year. Grossman, Grossman says they have Super Bowl aspirations or whatever, but yeah, again, don't rely on that man. He's not trustworthy, as Bears fans will tell you. Um, Moving down to the NFC North, my division, and as much as it pains me to say this, I don't see the Bears making the playoffs this year. I really don't. I know that we won the division last year. It'd be great. I would really love it, but I really have my doubts about Jay Cutler. He's got to it's the Bears, traditionally win games with defense and with special teams. If we can keep doing that, then great. But at some point, you need a quarterback who can play a whole season, play a whole championship game, for God's sakes. Although I guess he actually was hurt, so that's not as much of an issue. I don't trust Cutler yet. I need to see more from Cutler before I'll believe in him. Um, you know, the Bears won the NFC North last year, but we really didn't look that great doing it. So and frankly, I think it's time for Lovie Smith to go. The Bears' offseason moves stumped the hell out of me, and I don't understand. When you're a team that needs a threat at wide receiver, needs someone for Jay Cutler to throw to deep, and there are so many free agent wide receivers in the offseason this year in free agency, um, and you pick up Roy Williams, I mean, that just boggles my mind. I don't understand it all. Maybe Williams will do great. Who knows? If I'm proven wrong on this, then I will be very, very happy. But, you know, you signed a bunch of people the Cowboys cut because they weren't doing anything. Williams and Sam Hurd and Marion Barber, and I just don't get it. Forte should be great again, but plus, plus if you're the Bears, your offensive line was a major problem last year. You want to shore that up this year, and what do? You let Owen Krutz go. You let him go into free agency and lose him. You let Greg Olson go. It, it really, I just don't understand, and frankly, I don't think Bears are going anywhere this year. That's just me. I hope I'm wrong. But the NFC North will be won by the Packers. I think the Packers are going back to the Super Bowl this year, personally. They won the damn thing last year with like 15 players on IR, so I see them taking the division. I don't really think I need to put up many arguments for that. Not a lot of people are going to disagree with me. However, the other wildcard team from the NFC will come from this division, I think, and it will be the Detroit Lions. Yes, yes, I said it. I think the Lions make the playoffs this year. I mean, that's predicated on Matt Stafford playing at least, say, 14 games. If Stafford plays at least 14 games, they make the playoffs. He's sensational when he's on the field. He's got a hell of a receiving core. I know their rookie running back is out for the season, but Javad Best ain't nothing to sneer at, and you know, and their defense is looking better than ever. So, you know, I mean, whatever. Sue's pissed off about is fine, but he's still a fucking beast, and so he's gonna dominate. I think their defense is gonna dominate. Um, I see them make. I see them getting a wild card spot in the playoffs this year. I'm not sure how far they'll go in the playoffs, but I see them getting that spot. Um, so there's your wild card team from the NFC, in my opinion. AFC South, you know, and it's hard because it's hard to put the Lions and the Giants in the wild card picture when you look at the AFC South and you think, well, one of them has to make the wild card, right? I don't know. The top three teams in there are so good, but you know, talking about Atlanta and New Orleans, I think both those teams miss the playoffs, and I know that's blasphemous, but I don't. I honestly don't even know why. I just got a feeling that the Buccaneers are taking it this year. I got the feeling. I, you know, the way they played last season. Um, Falcons are great. The Saints are great. I can't really offer any arguments for this one. I really can't. It's just my feeling. My feeling is the Bucks take the division, and the other two teams in that division, fail to make the playoffs. I think the Panthers are going to be better, um, and I think that's going to actually help the Bucks because I think the Panthers being better means that there'll be more competition in the division. Um, and the Saints and the Falcons, yeah, I just don't see it. And I'll that's the one that I'm least sure of. That's my major reach in here is that the Bucks take that division and the other teams miss the playoffs. So that one I won't feel bad at all about being wrong about because it's reaching, but that's just kind of what I see. Um, and as far as the NFC West is concerned, you know, looking a lot better than last year. I don't think it'll be a 7-9 team making the playoffs. I think it will be the Rams. I think the Rams take the division. Um, you know, Sam Bradford's got a lot of new weapons to play with. He's got Mike Sims Walker now. Apparently, their rookie tight end Lance Kendricks is incredibly impressive. Um, and you know, the Cardinals might make a fight out of it. I don't see them making the playoffs in Cobb's first year. You know, Fitzgerald is great, but I think they'll need at least a year to adjust well enough to. I see them maybe being a 9-7 team, the Cardinals, um, but not a playoff team. I think the Rams will do it this year. The 49ers, you know, the 49ers don't seem to have anything to me. I mean, they don't even know who their quarterback's going to be. Is it going to be Alex I can't throw a football Smith or you know, they're talking about I mean when your team's talking about bringing in what the hell is his name? Shit, I can't even remember his name now. That one quarterback that used to play for I think the Vikings and some other teams. He sucks. Um, God, I can't believe I can't remember his name. Culpepper, Dante Culpepper. They're looking. When you're looking at bringing him in, you've got a problem. I don't think the Niners are going anywhere. I don't think the Seahawks are going anywhere either. You know, their brand spanking new quarterback is Tavares freaking Jackson, and you know, yes, he's got Sidney Rice and Zach Miller to throw to, but it's still Tavares Jackson. I see the Rams finishing at the bottom of this division and the Seahawks making third. Um, so yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on that. Oh, you know what? Did I forget to talk about the Vikings? I did. I did forget to talk about the Vikings, didn't I? Man, I can't believe I forgot. Like, it's so much fun to talk about how much the Vikings are going to lose. You know why? Because they've got Donovan McNabb playing quarterback for them. And you remember what Donovan McNabb did last year? Nothing. I think man's done. He's got a great running back. You know, from Adrian Peterson. Teams are going to try and stop Peterson, so McNabb might not even throw that much. But you know, they lost Sidney Rice, so they've got what Harvin and Chanko, pretty much, and like Bernard Berrian and Greg Camarillo. Um, and you know their defense is not nearly as vaunted as it used to be. So you know the Vikings, I think, will finish last again in the NFC North. So forgot to talk about them. Um, so yeah, NFC. To sum up, I see the division winners being the Eagles, the Packers, the uh, Buccaneers and the Rams, and the wild cards being the Lions and the Giants. Um, so what we have basically, if my scenario were to prove true, which it won't, but if it did, the returning it would be 6-6. The Jets, Colts, Steelers, Patriots, Eagles, and Packers would be returning playoff teams, and the Chargers, Lions, Texans, Giants, Rams, and Buccaneers would be your new playoff teams. That's the scenario I see happening. Um, am I going to call a Super Bowl right now? Sure. Why not? I'm going to go ahead and say Packers Patriots in the Super Bowl, with the Packers winning, with the Packers repeating. That's my thoughts. That's my predictions. They're wild. They're crazy. They're completely unqualified, not really based in any semblance of facts whatsoever, but everybody does it. I say Packers Patriots in the Super Bowl, and I think the Packers will win. So, that's my thoughts on football, and I'm sure we'll be back to talk about more football soon. Um, and certainly, EJ and I will get together soon to have a joint discussion about this wonderful subject we get to talk about again. Yay! All right, so have a good one, guys, and peace.